बिस्मिल्लाहिर्रहमानिर्रहीम। मेरी तमाम दोस्तों से गुजारिश है कि जिन लोगों ने हमारे चैनल को सब्सक्राइब नहीं किया, उनसे गुजारिश है कि हमारे चैनल को सब्सक्राइब करें और साथ ही बेल आइकन को दबाएं ताकि आने वाली तमाम वीडियोस आपको मिल सकें। और अगर आप हमारी वीडियो से मुस्तफीद हों तो हमारे चैनल को लाइक करें। थैंक यू।
अस्सलामुअलैकुम। पहला पैराग्राफ, पहला पार्ट जो है 18 पैराग्राफ का हमने छोड़ा था ईजिंग द लॉकडाउन, और उसका दूसरा पार्ट शुरू हो रहा है क्योंकि कुछ दोस्तों की फरमाइश थी कि सर जो बड़े पैराग्राफ होते हैं उनको दो हिस्सों के अंदर आप बांट दिया करें, इसलिए मैंने इसका दूसरा पार्ट जो है वो अलहदा से बना दिया है। तो रेडी। In the last few weeks, the concept of herd immunity has been finding a mention in the international media in the context of COVID-19, with many referring to Sweden as a country that has come closest to it. Sweden has broken away from international norms and has not instituted any formal lockdowns. It has, however, strongly advised its citizens to practice social distancing and asked older citizens to stay at home while clamping restrictions on access to nursing homes. The logic of herd immunity is deceptively simple. When a person is infected with a virus, the body produces antibodies that fight off the infection and the person recovers. After the recovery, he becomes immune to the virus, which means he cannot get it again and cannot infect any other person. If 70% of the population of a country therefore is infected with the virus, the remaining 30% will have a very low probability of getting infected. This is because the 70% who are infected and recover are not passing on the infection. The country as a whole or as a herd has overpowered the virus through its immune system. The antibodies that our bodies need to fight off the infection are developed through two ways: number one, by getting the infection and allowing our body to develop antibodies naturally; number two, through vaccination, whenever the vaccine is developed. New paragraph. In real life, the logic gets a bit complex. The World Health Organization said in a statement last month, there is currently no evidence that people who have recovered from COVID-19 and have antibodies are protected from a second infection. This means the concept of herd immunity is not granted so far, even if 70% of the population were to get infected. In addition, when 70% of a population gets infected, many will die when the infection overpowers the antibodies. How many may die depends on the mortality rate of the country from COVID-19 ? If we apply numbers to Pakistan's case, the situation gets clearer. At present, the country's population stands at 220 892,340 people, full stop. 70% of this population that requires to be infected for herd immunity comes to 154,624,638, full stop. In other words, more than 15 crore Pakistanis will require to be infected with COVID-19 before herd immunity kicks in, full stop. New paragraph. Now let's take this further, full stop. The current mortality rate of Pakistan as per government figures is 2.2%, full stop. This denotes the percentage of people dying from among all those infected, full stop. But there is a complication, full stop. The actual mortality rate will be lower because the confirmed cases of infections that we have is far less than what the actual number of infected people are, full stop. Since our testing numbers are low, it is difficult to get a fairly accurate assessment of the total number of infected citizens, full stop. Every identified case represents the tip of the iceberg, says Dr. Mirza, full stop. He argues rightly so that science does not allow us to make an accurate estimate, full stop. New paragraph. However, projections require some projected data, full stop. According to an infectious diseases specialist, the actual figure of infections in Pakistan could be anywhere from double the confirmed figure to 10 times upwards, full stop. This provides us a wide range to apply on the concept of herd immunity, full stop. Since the current mortality rate of the confirmed infections is 2.2%, doubling the number of infected cases would bring down the projected mortality rate to 1.1%, full stop. If we increase the actual cases 10 times, the mortality rate would reduce by 10 times and end up at a figure of 0.22%, full stop. Therefore, the range to apply to the herd immunity level would be 0.22 to 1.00%, full stop. These projected numbers are rough approximations that do not include multiple factors that go into scientific projections, full stop. But they do provide a crude picture of what the concept of herd immunity entails in cost of human lives, full stop. Medical experts agree that at some point we will all acquire herd immunity like we have done so with diseases like measles, mumps, chickenpox and polio, though we is in Pakistan are struggling with polio, full stop. The issue is time, full stop. If a population races towards herd immunity before a vaccine is available, the cost in human lives can be catastrophic, full stop. This is why, experts say, the aim is to suppress the spread of infection so that the health facilities are not overwhelmed before a vaccine is made available. Full stop. New paragraph. I care less about herd immunity and more about our hospitals coping with the pressure on patients, says Taimur Salim Jagda, the health minister of Khyber Pakhtunkhwa. Full stop. Jagda is leading his province fight against COVID-19 and is widely credited for his proactive and data-oriented approach to the challenge. First, he says more important than the number of infected people is the number of those needing hospitalization. First, the death rate climbs in proportion to those needing hospitalization. First, if health facilities are overwhelmed, death rates could spike beyond control. First, but so far the government feels it has the situation under control. First, our health facilities are coping well, says an official associated with the National Command and Operations Center. Full stop. According to data from NCOC, Pakistan today has a capacity of 21,000 hospitals beds dedicated for COVID-19 patients. Full stop. The number of COVID-19 patients currently hospitalized is 6661. Full stop. The total number of ventilators currently available for treating COVID-19 patients is 1400. Full stop. As of today, 93 patients are on ventilators. Full stop. There is excess capacity. Full stop. For now. Full stop. New paragraph. Dr. Mirza says the global average for people on ventilators is 4.8%, while in Pakistan currently it is 2.5%. Full stop. These numbers have given officials like him and Jagda cause for cautious optimism. Full stop. But how long before red lights start flashing? Question mark. Almost all officials agree that the next 2 to 4 weeks are crucial because they will reflect the outcome of the decision to ease the lockdown. Full stop. One senior official says the impact of opening up mosques for Ramzan will become fairly clear by Eid. First, the result of easing the lockdown earlier this week will manifest itself by the second week of June. First, there is concern that widespread violations of laid down SOPs for social distancing, as seen in the last 2 days, could lead to dangerously escalating pressure on health facilities. First, new paragraph. If hospitals are suddenly overrun, we will be in trouble, admits another official who is tracking numbers. First, if more than 75% of hospital beds are required for COVID-19 patients, we could face a serious crisis, he says. First, a senior member of the government who attends NCOC meetings airs similar concerns. First, he argues that so far the real data of infections and deaths has been lower than the projected figures, if in the next few weeks, these real figures start to go beyond the projected values, then we shall be in a dangerous situation, he says,